Alrighty, everyone, it is Friday and the final Friday of the calendar year 2024, which means this is the last news of the week video for 2024. So, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I don't even have a page full of news because it is, again, the holiday break. We know the holiday break was going to be dry. Again, the holiday roster freeze is still underway until 12:01 a.m. Tomorrow. So there may be a lot of things that happen tomorrow, or actually, I think it's over today. Actually, I might be wrong, but again. Not a lot of news. Not a lot of news happened this past week. There are a few things that did happen, though, that we do need to discuss in a video. So this is what this video is for. This might not even be 10 minutes long. This might not even be 8 minutes long. This might be a very short news of the week video, but let's try and get into it here. Starting off with what happened on Sunday, Matt Rempe was suspended for 8 games due to a boarding call on Miro Heiskanen. So yeah, obviously this was something that is the right call, in my opinion. Again, you guys saw my YouTube video. I'll put it in the card up on the top if you guys want to go watch it. But I said that, yeah, like this is a hit that's dirty. It should not be in the game. Some people even said that it was not enough games, which I can definitely see. Somebody like Rempe, who it's not a clean hit whatsoever. It's not a hit that you should be making at all. Like, I'm going to be completely thorough with you guys. I disagree with Rempe's stance on it. I don't think that it's a clean hit. I think that the NHLPA did the right thing. And I think that, yeah, like I 100% hands down agree with the NHLPA and I 100%. It is a dirty hit. I don't understand. I've seen some people complain on social media about it, but again, if you guys want to complain, you can in the comment section, or you can go watch my YouTube video on it, which is also, again, in the card, along with the Derek Lalonde firing. So the Detroit Red Wings have fired Derek Lalonde as head coach, and Todd McLellan is taking over as the brand new head coach of the Detroit Red Wings. So first off, we'll go with that, then we'll get into the assistant coach and things like that. Yeah, again, I said this in my video yesterday, which again, it'll be in the card. I thoroughly agree with this. I think that, to be honest with you, when you look in terms of the Red Wings, they were in free fall, and Lalonde's job was definitely on the line, and he didn't make the necessary moves or necessary things to really turn this team around. So yeah, I 100% agree with the fact that they should fire him, and bringing in someone like McLellan, who first off was an assistant coach with Detroit when they won their cup in 2008, but as well as that too, he's a coach who can get teams back into the playoffs. He got the Oilers back into the playoffs in that one season, I believe. I think he was there for that. He went to the LA Kings, and even during that, got them back to the playoffs. Yes, I don't know why I'm burping. He may not have gotten them far in the playoffs. He may not have gotten them to a Stanley Cup final. He may not have even won a playoff round in his career. But I want to say this. He is a coach who can get a team into the playoffs. And what is Detroit? A team that needs to get into the playoffs. So, again, it makes so much sense on so many levels. And I think that, again, he may not be the coach for the long-term future, but I really do like it for the Red Wings in that position. And I think that for sure it is 100% a great hiring by the Red Wings. And we'll see where it goes from here. As well as that, too, Bob Booner was fired as the assistant coach, and McLellan brought in Trey Yawning, who will likely take over as not only the assistant coach, but as the penalty kill coach as well. And Detroit has a pretty bad penalty kill, so maybe with Yawning coming in, that will really improve things there in the penalty kill with Detroit. But yeah, overall, I think that it's a great hiring by the Red Wings and a great move that needed to be done 100%. Okay. Next thing here. This was something that caught my eye this past week. The Patrik Laine versus Columbus Blue Jackets comments. And again, I'm just going to read off the comments here because I think that's the best way to explain it. So we'll start off with Laine, with what Laine said about it. So I'm reading this off of Puck Report NHL. It basically says that Patrik Laine spoke with media as he said to return to Columbus for the first time against the Blue Jackets on Monday and opened up about his time with the team. When I signed a contract here, I made it clear that I loved being here. that it was going great, and I didn't want to leave, Laine said after the Canadiens' morning skate. Obviously, things happened, and that was kind of it for me. I feel like we were just doing the same thing year after year, and I was tired of losing and just giving up when it's December and start focusing on next year. I'm not going to do that. That's frustrating as a player when you're trying to win, and some people are. It's not like that. Excuse me. They're a little too satisfied and too comfortable where they're at. It wasn't really a fit for me anymore, but here in Montreal, it doesn't matter if we're winning or losing. We're always trying our best, and that's how I felt about it in Columbus. And then after the game, when Zach Werenski was asked about his thoughts on Laine's comments, Werenski basically said this, if I can pull it up here real quick, it's struggling to load. He said, quote, "For him to bash us like that, I think it's just unacceptable. We were nothing but good teammates to him. For him to come in and say that is bullshit. None of us in the room are happy about it. It speaks more about him than us. What's he thinking saying that?" Yeah, I think it's a little bit ridiculous, to be honest with you. I think that I kind of agree with Werenski, but I also agree with Laine. I think that if what Laine was saying is true, then I'm like, yeah, that's definitely not a good look for Columbus. But I'll also say this. They were under a regime that was not great. Kekalainen I was not really a fan of, to be honest. You guys would know that if you're longtime listeners. But yeah, I think that Laine coming out and saying things like, oh, the team gives up and things like that, like, I don't think that that's fair to say. And I thought the city, when he was there, loved him. I thought the city was fair to him. I thought the city was good to him, and his teammates were too. Saying that, though, I think is a little bit not nice to say in the media. What I'm not okay with Columbus's end is them going on and injuring Patrik Laine. That was what I was not okay with, for sure. But again, it's something that really caught my eyes in the headlines this past week. It's something that I'm still not particularly okay with, in my opinion. But yeah, we'll see where it goes from here. But those were some comments that involved Laine and the Blue Jackets, and maybe something else will come of it when these guys play again, but we'll see again. All right. Next thing here, and this is more comments, Pettersson versus Miller. This has been something that made a lot of headlines in the media over this past weekend. I didn't even talk about it in last week's news video because I kind of avoided it, but I guess I really can't avoid it anymore. The Elias Pettersson versus JT Miller situation has really kind of lit up, and basically what it is just that these players don't like each other. That's essentially what it is. I don't think that there's anything else. Like, it seems it's personal. It's a personal kind of beef, and I don't really know what it is, but I think that these two players just need to work it out. That's all I'm going to say. All these players need to just work it out and try and fix things moving forward. Otherwise, you could see a trade. But again, I don't think you're moving either of these players because they're both on huge contracts. First off, you probably could, but you would have to move heaven and earth, and I don't think your fan base would get behind moving one of these really good players. These are two really good NHLers, and I don't think that the players would be okay with moving on from them. I'm just being openly honest about it. So, yeah, that was something that was interesting too. I don't really want to go into it that much because it really shouldn't be that big of a deal. If it's really this big of a problem, it needs to be a trade. But again, I can't see that happening. So something needs to give here, whether it's in Columbus or whether it's in Miller's camp or Pettersson's camp, something needs to give. But I don't know. They need to set their differences aside and try and push forward here because Vancouver is not in like a comfortable spot like they were last season. They're on the brink of missing the playoffs, and this could be a huge part of that. This could be a huge thing that gets played into that, and we know how the Canadian media loves to feed into this stuff. We know how the Canada media loves to just go all in with things like this, and whether or not it's true, they love to create drama and stir things up. So again, it's something that definitely, for me, really caught my eye, and we'll see where that goes from there, too. Two more things before we wrap up this video. The World Juniors are on. If you guys have not watched those, they're obviously all on TSN, and they are all very entertaining to watch, actually. I watched all 4 games. I tried to do a stream for Canada-Finland yesterday, but my Wi-Fi just did not like me yesterday. It was really unfortunate, too, because the stream was doing really well, and then, of course, I had to end it. But overall, really frustrating, but I'm sure I'm gonna try again at the end of the tournament with the gold medal game. But yeah, something that was really annoying there. One thing that I do want to bring up, Jonah Morin is the youngest player to ever play in the top division since 2001. He is 15 years old. He joins 4 other players in being just 15 years old to participate in the World Juniors. This guy can't even drive yet, and he is already playing in one of the most top tournaments in junior hockey. So it is actually wild to think that. And yeah, definitely props to him for sure for, making it to the big leagues like that. I know I could never do that 100%, but yeah, big props to him for sure. And then the last piece of news that we have here for this video, Mackenzie Blackwood signed a 5-year, $5.25 million deal with the Colorado Avalanche. Again, he was traded there this past month and looked really good in the time that he played with the Avalanche, and the Avalanche were already like, hey, I like him. So let's lock him up. So I think it's a good deal for Blackwood. Good for him because he was a really good player. I always liked Blackwood, and I'm glad to see him that he's doing well in another change of scenery. So, yeah, that's your news of the week for December 27, 2024. Probably the shortest news of the week video we've ever had. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below on the news we talked about. I hope you guys have a very happy holidays, not a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, all that good stuff. But regardless, that'll do it for me. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next Friday.